हेलो हेलो चेक 1 2 3 4। नहीं गया नहीं
जन कहत बात नानक, जन कहत बात बिनसी जई है, तेरो गात बिनसी जई है, तेरो गात छिन छिन करी गयो काल, छिन छिन करी गयो काल, तैसे जात आज है, तैसे जात आज है। राम सुमिर राम सुमिर, राम सुमिर राम सुमिर, यही तेरो काज है, यही तेरो काज है। राम सुमिर राम सुमिर, राम सुमिर राम सुमिर। श्रीमद् भागवत में गोपियों का जो विरह भाव है उससे प्रेरित होकर के महाकवि भक्त सूरदास जी ने भ्रमर गीतों की रचना की है। भ्रमर गीत अर्थात गोपियों के और उद्धव जी के वाद संवाद। उद्धव जी बड़े ज्ञानी थे और योगी थे। वे जब समाधि में बैठ जाते तो तुरंत उनका ध्यान लग जाता और अपनी आत्मा का वे दर्शन कर लेते थे। परंतु उनको अपने ज्ञान का थोड़ा सा अभिमान हो गया। इस बात को भगवान श्री कृष्ण समझ गए और जो ज्ञान होता है वो बिना प्रेम के रूखा होता है। तो उद्धव जी को शिक्षा देने के लिए भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने उद्धव जी से कहा, उद्धव मेरा एक काम कर दो। उद्धव जी ने कहा, जी हाँ कहिए, मैं क्या सेवा करूं। भगवान श्री कृष्ण बोले, उद्धव बेगी ही ब्रिज जाओ। ब्रिज में जाकर के गोपियां मुझे याद करके बिलखती रहती हैं, बेचैन सी रहती हैं, उनको ये ज्ञान सिखाइए और उनको समाधि सिखाइए ताकि उनको मन को शांति मिले। तो उद्धव जी जब गए और वहाँ पर गोपियों को ज्ञान की बातें करने लगे तो गोपियों ने कहा कि ये ज्ञान तो हमारे समझ में नहीं आता, तुम क्या ये बातें कर रहे हो। उद्धव जी बोले, पहले आप अपने मन को स्थिर कीजिए। तो ललिता सखी जी बोली, उद्धव जी पहले ये बताइए मन होते कितने हैं। मन तो एक ही होता है ना, वो तो उनके साथ चला गया, अब हम स्थिर किसको करें। तो उद्धव जी ने कहा, अच्छा आप पहले अपने आंखें बंद करके बैठिए। तब गोपियों ने कहा, आंखें, ये अखियां तो हरि दर्शन की प्यासी हैं, इन्हीं को हम बंद करके बैठ जाएं। कहने का तात्पर्य कि उद्धव जी की वहां पर एक न चली, गए तो कुछ सिखाने थे पर बहुत कुछ सीख कर चले आए। उन्होंने देखा कि ये ज्ञान मेरा प्रेम के बिना तो रूखा है। वापस आकर के भगवान श्री कृष्ण से कहा कि भगवान, भक्ति रूपी रेत का मैं तो एक कण भी नहीं हूँ। जो मैंने भाव गोपियों में देखा है, जो प्रेम मैंने उनमें देखा है, वास्तव में भक्ति तो वही है। सूरदास जी ने लगभग 1.25 लाख पदों के दिए। उनमें जो भ्रमर गीत है वे अनुपम रचनाएं हैं। संसार के साहित्य में उसका बहुत बड़ा ऊंचा स्थान है और कई एक भाषाओं में भ्रमर गीतों के अनुवाद हो चुके हैं। भ्रमर गीत अर्थात प्रेम के साथ भगवान की भक्ति। लीजिए, मैं आपकी सेवा में थोड़े भ्रमर गीत प्रस्तुत कर रहा हूँ। चलत रामचंद्र, ठुमकी चलत रामचंद्र। बाजत पैंजनिया, ठुमकी चलत रामचंद्र, ठुमकी चलत रामचंद्र। बाजत पैंजनिया, ठुमकी चलत रामचंद्र। खिलखिलात उठत धाय, गिरत भूमि लटपटाय। खिलखिलात उठत धाय, गिरत भूमि लटपटाय। धाय माय गोद लेत, धाय माय गोद लेत दशरथ की रनिया। ठुमकी चलत रामचंद्र, ठुमकी चलत रामचंद्र। बाजत पैंजनिया, ठुमकी चलत रामचंद्र। आंचल रज अंग झारी, आंचल रज अंग झारी। विविध भांति सो दुलारी, आंचल रज अंग झारी। विविध भांति सो दुलारी। निरखत मुख बारी बारी, निरखत मुख बारी बारी। कहत मृदु वचनिया, ठुमकी चलत रामचंद्र, ठुमकी चलत रामचंद्र। बाजत पैंजनिया, ठुमकी चलत रामचंद्र। मेवा मोदक रसाल, मन भावे सुनेहु लाल। मेवा मोदक रसाल, मन भावे सुनेहु लाल। और लेहो रुचिर पान, और लेहो रुचिर पान। कंचन झुन झुनिया, ठुमकी चलत रामचंद्र, ठुमकी चलत रामचंद्र। बाजत पैंजनिया, ठुमकी चलत रामचंद्र।
ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. My namaskar to everyone who is attending this class. We are in a fourth chapter in the last section of this Chaturtha Adhyaya of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. In this section, what we see is the eulogy of knowledge. The knowledge we discuss, this is not the knowledge in general, but knowledge of the coherence of this existence, which is explained by this idea of different yajna, starting with Brahmarpanam, Brahmavi, etc. The last verse we saw in our class is Api ched asi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakruttamaha sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrujinam santarishyasi. So the meaning, even if you be the most sinful among all the sinfuls, yet by the raft of knowledge alone thou shalt go across all sins. So this we saw that knowledge is so potent, is so powerful, that even if you are amongst the worst of worst, sarvebhya papa kruttamaha, papa sins, or rather you say the actions which have adverse effect on ourselves. So all such action you might have committed, and you are among the worst, sarvebhya, of all, papa kruttamaha. Till then, in spite of that, what is possible? Jnana plavena eva. Indeed, that plavena, by the raft of this jnana, knowledge. Sarvam jnana plavena eva vrujinam. That all sins, the ocean of sin, you will santarishyasi, you will go across, tarishyasi, you will float. You will not sink into it. So, the first message it conveys is that nobody has to be despondent, that give it up completely, as if there is no hope and there is no way. So it is not like that. For any kind of person, even if he may be the worst of all worst people, has committed awful things, So there is the way. And what that way is? This jnana. So we have heard, we have read, we have gone through these earlier verses. Yad jnatva na punar moham evam moham yasyasi pandava. That you will not be get deluded again ever. And due to which, what is that knowledge? Yad jnatva, what will happen? Yad jnatva means after knowing which, yena bhutani asheshena drakshasi atmani athomai. That is the knowledge by which you will be able to see all beings within yourself. Drakshasi atmani, within yourself. All beings, bhutani asheshena, without any doubt, without leaving anything. Absolutely. Without any conditions. Asheshena. You will be able to see all beings within you and also in me. So beings, jiva, this world, then you and me as Ishvara, this trinity of one, coherence of existence throughout this. Those who were in the last class, they might remember that we referred to this again, this sixth verse of this chapter, where Bhagavan has again cited this coherence of this existence in this Atman, that is the principal truth, unconditional, without any form or qualities, Atman, Ajopi, San, Avyaya Atma. And then, which is Ajopi, which is never born, so which does not die, which is referred to not to any form or person. It's a principle, ever present, ever free, ever without any condition. That is Ajopi. And then he also, then the second entity is Bhutanam Ishvara. As to put it into Swamiji's word, the sum total of all jivas, the consciousness associated with this manifested. Now manifested is not everything. So, in this Upanishad, it comes Tripadasyam Vrita. So, by three portion, he has become the manifested, and still one portion lies over and above it. So, the consciousness manifested, associated, the consciousness associated with the manifested, the total consciousness, which reflects individually as jivas or other beings. They are jivas. But Ishvara is the one, the total consciousness associated with this. And he again born as Avatara, that divine being. In East, the verse started with Ajopi, Atman. So Atma, Ishvara and Avatara. And here, the world, the individual being and the and Ishvara. World, being and Ishvara. So this coherence of existence, uniformity of the nature of all these, of individual being Atman, or the principle Atman, the consciousness, and all beings, all jivas and Ishvara. So we see this is the knowledge we are talking about, explained variously by this the idea of yajnas, that how it is like an ocean and waves are rising and intermixing with the same ocean, arising from that same ocean again. Or idea of yajna is taken here, like as in the case of that verse, Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam. What the example of yajna, the ritualistic sacrifice is taken. And what is being said there? That everything is Brahman. What is being is offered, that is Brahman. The instruments are Brahman. The material which are used, that is Brahman. Where they are offered, that fire is Brahman. So the person who is doing such kind of yajna, this Brahma yajna, he will reach to Brahman alone. Now, different ideas were taken to elaborate that idea. What is meant by that? Now, this knowledge we are talking about. So, this chapter, its name is Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. That renunciation of action into knowledge. How wonderful idea that is. Now, we see that this idea is taken forward, that this knowledge is potent, is so powerful to take even the worst of worst sinners across the ocean of these sins. And now what is being said in the next verse? Now we are looking into the 37th verse. So, what is this verse like? Yathaidhansi samidhognir bhasmasat kuruter juna jnanagni sarvakarmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. Yathaidhansi samidhognir bhasmasat kuruter juna sarvakarmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. So, this is the verse. So, start with Yathaidhansi, Yatha Indhansi. So, Yatha, like, as Indhansi. Indhansi means the fuel. If you remember this word, in Marathi also it is used, in Hindi also it is used. So, when there were these ovens of firewood, where you could burn firewood for fire, for cooking or any other purpose. Such ovens were allowed at that time. I remember that this word we used to use to bring that firewood from some sawmill or somewhere, indhan. Or in Hindi also this word is used, and more largely as fuel, indhan. So, what kind of fuel is used in a rocket or in a train or in a different vehicle? Indhan. So, meaning that indhan means fuel. So, here in this case, especially when we are talking about fire, so indhansi here definitely means the firewood. Yatha indhansi, as firewood. And then next pada is samidhognir, that agni with samidha. So which is furiously burning, blazing fire. Agni is fire. Samidha is blazing, blazing with the wood, with the indhan. So, such blazing fire, what does it do? That fire, bhasmasat kurute. So, bhasmasat, this pratyaya you might see in many Sanskrit words. This sat, this suffix get attached. Bhasma means ashes. Bhasmasat. So tadrusha becomes bhasma, become like bhasma. So attend to that state, bhasmasat. Or when I am reading or acquiring any kind of studying something, acquiring any skill, so this word can be used, atmasat. Have I acquired like that? Have I become one with that? Have that skill, that knowledge has become the portion of myself itself, atmasat. So similar word here is bhasmasat. So what does means it reduces to ashes, it becomes ashes. So as the blazing fire reduces this firewood indhansi, to ashes. O Arjuna, yathedhansi samidhognir bhasmasat kurute Arjuna. Kurute does. Kurute means does. Kurute Arjuna. So, as a blazing fire reduces firewood into ashes, so Jnana Agni, the fire of knowledge, similarly, Jnana Agni, the fire of knowledge, what does it now? Bhasmasat kurute. It also burns, reduces to ashes. What does it reduces to ashes? What does it burn? Sarva karmani. That all actions, that is the primary meaning, all actions are burned down to ashes. Tatha, in the same way. So, this is the meaning of the verse, that as blazing fire reduces wood into ashes, so, O Arjuna, does the fire of knowledge reduces all karma to ashes. Now, sarva karmani means all your actions are burned down, reduces to ashes. So that means they do not anymore exist. So this is the meaning come before us. So such kind of knowledge, when it is so acquired in such a degree, so it is potent enough, it is powerful enough to burn down all your actions. So what does it mean, burn down all your actions? So it especially means or related, it is to Purva karmas and the sanskaras acquired due to it. The sanskaras are the internal fruit of all our actions. They remain with us. They do not leave us. Prarabdha and different karmas, the situation we face and due to which we suffer or enjoy, they are like external fruits. What we do, it contributes to what we are going to face. So, these sanskaras, they are karma phalas in the sense, and they are also referred as karmas. Karma phala, many times. In our colloquial language also, we use such kind of expression. So something bad happened. What to do? My karma, we say. Meaning that the fruits of my actions. Now, because this is the one thing which stops me to have that knowledge, to set me free, which binds me, these sanskaras. That it hinders my knowledge of the self. That I were never bound, I was ever free, I am infinite, ever pure. I am that pure consciousness, existence, bliss. This knowledge is hindered. Hindered by what? Hindered by these sanskaras. What these sanskaras do? What are they of like? These most dominant sanskara, that I am individual self. I am separate from others. I individually exist apart from others. This sanskara of ahankara. That I am separate from others. I believe that. I find it true. This is completely antagonistic to the truth. This is not true. Truth is the knowledge that there exists one entity, all coherent, uniform, and it is of the nature of infinite consciousness, existence and bliss. Existence, knowledge and bliss. Satchit Ananda. So, something is infinite and I think myself as finite and I believe this is my sanskara, that I am born, I have the body, I am so and so, every attribute of me. This is sanskara. I am truly become unified with it. I believe this is me. This is what is stopping. This is what is hindrance. So the impediment between me and the true knowledge. So these will be burned down. These will be burned down. So their effects will be burned down. It does not mean that if you have knowledge, then there exists no more, so to say, any actions for you, that you do not have to eat, or there will not be any bodily functions. There will not be any kind of actions. It cannot mean that. This is irrational. From the highest standpoint of view, yes, the person who is abiding in that consciousness, in that truth, as if in Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, Brahmagno, Brahmana Utam, in that sense, then it is Brahman alone, and from that sense, there is no actions, because there exists nothing but Brahman. That is all right. So burn down all actions. Bhasmasat sarvakarmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. Jnanagni sarvakarmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. And this idea, the idea of knowledge, that you are that truth and you are not this illusion. This idea is so potent. So, as I said, that taking this example, that as that blazing fire burns down this firewood to ashes, now if that knowledge, now this is here knowledge is synonymous with that fire. If that knowledge is a blazing fire, so it will burn down all our actions, all our past impressions, sanskaras, what are antagonistic to the realization of truth. But even at the stage of intellectual understanding, of conviction, even in the state of sadhana, forget means the state of the realization when you have absolutely got it. Even in this stage, the person who sincerely accept this idea, try to assimilate, he is doing Shravana, Manana, and try to practice it, try to tune his life in accordance with this truth. It is a great boon. It is greatly empowering that person. He will be able to thwart these forces of all kinds of situation, actions which assails him, overwhelm him. This emotional assault he will be able to withstand. He will be able to maintain the equanimity of his mind. And will be able to act according to his dharma. He will be able to discharge his responsibility. He will be able to do what is expected of him, what he is supposed to do. So this knowledge, even at the level of Shravana and Manana, understanding and contemplating, it is so powerful. It is so purifying. It sets that human being free, and right now, his burden is taken off. Anybody who can take this idea up, it is his immediate realization. Forget about realizing it absolutely. It is at this moment he can feel the sense of freedom as soon as he grows upon this idea that he is not this illusion defined by these different conditions of name and form and attributes, but he is the ever free, ever pure, and absolute and infinite existence, knowledge, and bliss. And he is not this body, this mind, and all attributes which come along with it. He is the ever witness of all this drama on the screen of through this Maya which is going on. So this knowledge is so potent, and trying to assimilate this knowledge, trying to work this idea upon, trying to tune our life, our actions, our thought, our belief, let that knowledge sink deeper and deeper into our heart and into our blood and marrow, and becoming that person, becoming that knowledge becomes that person, and that person becomes that knowledge. They become one with each other, and that is when it is attained absolutely, that would be the realization. So Turiyananji Maharaj said this thing. He can be considered as one of Sri Ramakrishna's disciple who was more inclined towards the path of jnana. He says that in the very early days that he had set his mind upon Vedanta as early as at the age of 13. Gone through different getting acquainted with the different disciplines of spiritual life. At the very early age, that incident is there when he went to bath in the Ganges, to bathe in the Ganges. And what happened? And people started, he heard shouting of the people, crocodile, crocodile, move away from the water. And very instinctively, he had returned or taken step to come out of the water, and he thought, what I am doing? Every day I think of that I am not this body and I am afraid. And he again turned his face toward the Ganges and stood in the water. Fortunately, nothing happened. But see, at so tender age, he was trying to practice what he was believing. So we see that when he is to come to Sri Ramakrishna, and for several days he didn't come, Sri Ramakrishna asks his friend Gangadhar Maharaj, Swami Akhandanandji later, that why is not coming? So he hears from Gangadhar Maharaj, that he is studying a lot, and then he sends for him, ask him to come one day, and he asks him that why have you not come for so long? And he says that I have been studying different scriptures, Panchadashi, etc., because he thinks without having mastered the scriptures very well, that one cannot have the grasp of Vedantic truths. This is what he says to Sri Ramakrishna, and that's what he sincerely believed. And Sri Ramakrishna then replies to him, try to resolve and try to set him again on the path. But point is, we see that Swami Turiyananji's the frame of his mind. Now, Turiyananji in his later days, when he was residing at Varanasi, he had said this. When some disciple, some devotee, he has said that how difficult it is to have Brahmajnana. It is not joke. Yes, it is not joke. So, how Turiyananji Maharaj, Hari Maharaj replied to him? He said to him that even for a moment, can you think of this idea, contemplate of this idea that you are Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. Even for a fraction of a second. Now, yes, even to think of Brahman that or think that I am Brahman would not make you Brahman. Thinking will not be fall, because thinking falls in the realm of mind, and the Brahman, the Atman, which lies beyond this, the arena of mind. Avang manasa gocharam, where mind cannot reach. That is Brahman. So thinking of Brahman is contradiction in itself. Contradiction of term. Brahman cannot be thought out. But still, Turiyananji Maharaj is saying, even if you feel that as much closer you can get to that idea, even for a second, what you have to do is that you have to just sustain that. You have to sustain how much closest you can be there, and then slowly it will gravitate, it will purify, and that idea will clarify. So, point here is, even for a person, whosoever he may be, in whatever walk of life, whatever objective of his life, ideal of his life, whatever small or big task or challenges he is pursuing, this knowledge has so much potential that you are not this illusion, but you are the truth. It can set him free. And only in that case, his mind, his body can become subservient to him or her, for that person. Then only when he is the master of this body or mind, in that state of frame of mind, only he can control his body, or he or she can push it to further limits, or have control of the mind, have the power to negate the onslaught of the emotional waves, to withstand this emotional assault of various kinds of these emotional waves which rise and which obstruct your vision of your objective, and you cannot do what you are supposed to do, what you are capable to do. You cannot even do that. So knowledge has this power, jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. And I referred here that bhasmasat is mostly, the sarva karmani here, which are all your actions are burned down. They are mostly directed towards what you have acquired hitherto, acquired in the form of your sanskaras. Because the person who is doing sadhana, even for that person, if he sincerely believes, then the responsibilities which world might expect that he is supposed to do, he might very well relinquish it, like all sannyasis do. That world might have expected that instead of becoming a sannyasi, to live such and such life. But I didn't believe that. With such belief, the sincere belief, I can relinquish such responsibility. Anybody can so, if he sincerely believes so. But the sanskaras, of which the character of that person is being formed, it does not leave him. It is that person. and to wind down its effect. This is what this knowledge can do. This is the only thing which can win, W-E-A-N, win, not win, W-I-N. So it can reduce down, it can deplore, it can degrade the effect, the power of those samskaras. Because most of the time what is happening when we are talking about spiritual life, growth and development, that we understand a lot, we cannot act upon it. What is withholding us? What is holding us back? The only thing that is your habits, your character, your sanskaras, nothing else. They have so much power. And to reduce down their power, to erode their power, jnana is the very potent, the most potent instrument. So jnanagni sarvakarmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. So beautiful this verse, the verse number 37, it is many a time it is quoted, and so liberating these few verses which comes at the end of this chapter. Yathaidhansi samidhognir bhasmasat kurute arjuna jnanagni sarvakarmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. So this is the 37th verse. The next verse says, Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram iha vidyate tat swayam yoga samsiddha kalenatmani vindati. This is also very beautiful and a very popular verse, oft quoted verse. What does it say? Nahi jnanena sadrusham. There is nothing, sadrusham, like of. There is nothing like that of knowledge. In what sense? Pavitram iha vidyate. Iha in this world. Pavitram. So pure, or rather purifying. But pavitram here means pure. Iha. On this earth there is nothing as pure as knowledge. Knowledge is purity. Knowledge, consciousness is purity. It is bereft of all dross, all tamas, all ignorance, all inertia. It is truth. It is unadulterated. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram iha vidyate. That knowledge is absolutely, it is the most purest thing. It is the purity. Getting closer to it, getting nearer to it, even to contemplate it is purity, is going to feel oneself as purity. Swamiji replied to this question of Sharat Chandra Chakravarti's disciple, that when he was talking about the control of mind, when such waves arises of passion in mind, Swamiji said to him in the same thing, that contemplate, recollect that you are Atman. You are Atman. So, nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram iha vidyate. There is nothing more purer than knowledge, this truth. And that truth you will know, tat swayam, you yourself. You will know that, vindati. When yoga samsiddha, when you will be perfected in yoga very comprehensively, not only yoga siddha, yoga samsiddha. That you will have absolutely mastered the yoga. You have known this secret of this yoga in and out, through and through. Then you will know yourself that truth. Kalena. In due course. With time you will know that. And he says, Kalena Atmani Vindati. That it is not like that somebody will tell you, you will get that knowledge from something outside of yourself. You will know it within you, and meaning that you will not require any more certifications for that knowledge, that this is the ultimate truth. But it will happen in due course as you are progressing toward that truth. So there is nothing more purer. It is the most purest thing on the face of earth. And you will know when you have been perfected on this path of yoga in the course of time. You will know that in your heart of heart, within yourself. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram iha vidyate tat swayam yoga samsiddha kalena atmani vindati. So this is this 38th verse is the great eulogy of this knowledge, of this jnana. What does the next verse, the 39th verse, what says? Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparah sanyatendriyah jnanam labdhva param shantim achirenat adhigacchati. Achirena adhigacchati. So Shraddhavan, this also is very popular and oft-quoted verse. Many times in schools and in the different context, in general context also, this 30th and 39th verse, these two verses are, I found that they are quoted. So what does it say? It says Shraddhavan, the one who is endowed with Shraddha, who has got Shraddha within him. Shraddhavan labhate. He finds, he gets that what? Jnanam. Shraddhavan, this knowledge. So in this chapter, in this verse, we are seeing that Krishna, Bhagavan, is setting few parameters, qualifications for the person, the what kind of person who can attain this knowledge, the essential one. So Shraddha is the most important among them. So the few characteristics which he is mentioning here, among which is first is Shraddha. Now the people who have read Swami Vivekananda and had been associated with Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission, this Bhavdhara, might have heard this very often, that Swamiji somehow is not agreeable to use the word of faith in English language as synonymous or as the perfect expression and translation of the word Shraddha. Now, what happens is that every word, the way it is used, the meaning is attached to it. The way people use, the way people understand, the word of faith in which it is used, because the word has Western origin, the language is used in Western culture, in Western society. So in case of religion especially, where this word is used, faith, Swamiji is not satisfied to use this to express Shraddha. So why is his hesitation? What does the difference he finds in Shraddha? And we find another word, Vishwasa. Vishwas. So is there any difference? Shraddha, Vishwas, or faith, or trust? So, to my understanding, as much or as little I have understood, there I find the little difference between the word Shraddha as well as in faith. Now, in Shraddha, I find the meaning or the import it drives in has a dynamic element, whereas faith has this passive element. What does it mean? It means that the person who has got Shraddha, now he has not surrendered himself. Try to understand this. In faith, you have surrendered, especially your inquisitive nature, that you have surrendered. Your intellectual faculty, you have surrendered. You have blindly accepted, and as if you are promising not to inquire into the veracity of the what has been told to you, that is faith. Shraddha is not like that. In Shraddha, the most dominant factor of what I see is that something that when that person is having Shraddha towards something, now it is his gateway to the realization, a pathway to the divine, something to the path, something leading to the immortality, a very high idealism. The pursuit of truth is open. That person is endowed with self-belief, self-confidence. That is Shraddha. It is in faith, as if I am laying down before yourself, giving charge, giving my responsibility to you at your feet. That is faith. In Shraddha, that it makes that person means now active. Shraddha is followed by action. Faith is relinquishing action. There is a difference. The how that word or in society, in the people, how the meaning is attached to it. Swamiji has cited this example of Nachiketa in that because therein we find this word Shraddha, the Shraddhaya Avivesha, that he got filled in with Shraddha, Nachiketa. So what happened? So when he asked the father, you are doing this yajna, you are doing this sacrifice, giving away all these things, and then whom you are giving unto me? And when this father got irritated, he said that I am giving you to the death. And Nachiketa, filled in with Shraddha, he decided to go to the death. Decided to go to Yama. So Shraddha you will find followed by action, proactiveness. Shraddha is something making oneself alert. Shraddha is bringing focus, your focus of your strength within yourself. That is Shraddha. It is not the trust what we have in day-to-day business. Like I go to my shopkeeper around the corner. I ask him something, I do not check the expiry date because I trust that he will not give me such thing. I ask for the money, I do not check the price, I give him the money. Or such and such thing, many things we use the trust that this person believes that it will happen certain way. That is trust. It is not Shraddha. Shraddha have this pursuit of truth, the pursuit of immortality. The divine element is always there, then only it is Shraddha. That separates it from Vishwasa. So, that is not in faith. So now Shraddhavan, this Shraddha is required. This Atma Shraddha is required. That this Shraddha in the words of the scriptures, in the words of the Guru, that yes, this is the truth, I can realize it, I will pursue it, that he is filled with that idealism and that desire, mumuksha, to get liberated, to attain to that truth, to walk that path and to deliver, to go to any length, whatever it might require. That is Shraddha. Not to grumble, not to grudge, not to question, but be ready to do, be ready to pay whatever it might ask. That is Shraddha. No questions asked. To go to any extent, to ready to sacrifice anything, that is Shraddha. That this has to be done, this has to be achieved, this has to be lived. That is Shraddha. So such this conviction, what in his guts, in his heart, which he finds as the spark of light, it is not just stubbornness, it is not stubbornness. It is not adamantine nature. Because element of divinity, that is always required. So in the matter of the world, that person is flexible. In the matter of the pursuit of truth, pursuit of that immortality, pursuit of that high ideal, he is uncompromising. That is Shraddha. So Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. This person, Swamiji said, Swamiji used to like this word, this virtue so much. So Swamiji used to say that this is the bedrock of all virtues. This is the bedrock upon which a character can be built. This Shraddha. So Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. So he alone will attain this knowledge. He or she has to have this Shraddha. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Then next word, tatparaha, sanyatendriyaha. Now this tatparaha, so it simply means, if you take this is at one word, so tatparaha, devoted, proactive, tatparayanaha, that is the meaning. So if it taken from the point of view of knowledge, so tat means that Atman alone, that Atman again. So one who is devoted to the pursuit of inculcating that knowledge. What knowledge? That Aham Brahmasmi. It can mean that the one who is devoted, dedicated, or it can simply mean that one, as along with Shraddha, it is not then blind faith, it has to have that proactiveness, tatparaha. He is active in pursuit of it. Shraddha, and there is required action, tatparaha. Some might, like to the one who of the more bias towards devotional frame of mind. They will say, the Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparaha sayyatendriyaha. So, tatpara, the meaning of tatpara is afterward. So, first Shraddhavan will get the knowledge and then only sayyatendriya. So, sayyatendriya, the one who is too much devoted to control of his mind, of his senses, etc. Means the path means indicating the path of yoga. So, no. So, Bhakti Marga will reach quicker. So somebody can draw the meaning of the word tatpara, means after that. So that will not be the right meaning. Because so that does not we find it here in the tune, in the course of a Bhagwan is putting it, and the word also. Yes, Tatpara and Sanyatendriya, they are in the same vibhakti, in the same case. So one can draw such meaning. Tatpara Sanyatendriya. So, but here this meaning is the Shraddhavan, the one who has Shraddha, one who is active, devoted, and the one, and also this third quality is required, that Sanyatendriya, who has controlled or disciplined his indriyas, his organs, that who is very moderated in his behavior. So this is the kind of person, one who is endowed with Shraddha, who is active, and who has as if withdrawn to the as max as possible in every other pursuit. That is the disciplined person, the focused on the goal. So such person can get this knowledge. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparaha sayyetendriyaha tatparaha tatparayanaha. So he is devoted to that objective which he has to attain. Sayyetendriyaha. So he has the discipline, his mind and senses, his organs. So he has to cultivate such kind of mind which can be focused for longer and for deeper in meditation on this goal, on this inculcating this Atmakara Vritti, this Brahmakara Vritti. And what is said in the next line, Jnanam labdhva param shantim achirena adhigachyati. So, when this knowledge is attained, Jnanam labdhva, after attaining this knowledge, he attains to this param shantim, which is unquestioned, undisturbed, unchallenged. That is param. This is not the ordinary peace, the momentary peace. This shantim is synonymous with that Satchitananda, with that consciousness, with the bliss of it. Param shantim achirenadi, that immediately, achirena, that there is no time intervention, achirena, adhigachyati, that he reaches there very, very much so, adhigachyati. So, this is the kind of person, Shraddhavan, Tatpara, Sayyatendriya. So, this person attains this knowledge. This is the way to one should pursue this knowledge. This is the quality, this is kind of character one must develop to attain to this knowledge. This is the import of the 39th verse. There are a couple of 3 verses which we will see in our next class. So from the next Sunday onwards, our class will be held at 5:30. So please kindly take note of it and go through these verses, contemplate over this. They are very beautiful, they are very purifying, they are very empowering and sets one free. So this is the power of Gita. Swami Brahmanand used to say, whenever his mind is to get perturbed, disturbed by anything, he is advising to his disciple that take Gita and read any chapter of it. I used to do that. So that is very uplifting. So this is Gita, this is the 4th Adhyaya, and we have seen today the 37, 38 and 39th verses of this chapter. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.